Hello there YouTube, welcome back, Reddit as well, to another quick bog update. Sorry it's been a while. Like I said in our last video, I've been quite busy with some other things going on in my life, so I haven't really had the chance to provide any updates lately to you guys as much as I have been on TikTok. And for those of you guys who have been following on TikTok, you know what's been going on. Anywho, I have been doing relatively well out here with the large bog. We are in its 4th year. Now we did get 3 flowers, well, 3 proper flowers, 4 flowers total, but one of them is kind of a mutated flower. It didn't really grow in right, so I'm not quite fully sure what's up with that one per se, but we did get a viable flower off our Swaniana here, which did get pollinated, and as you guys could see, for those of you guys who know, you know what to look for, but you guys can probably tell that it's pollinated. But yeah, you can see that's coming right out here of our Swaniana. Same with this weird mutated flower, that one's also off our Swaniana. Now our Purpurea also flowered, and as you guys can probably see, that one is also for sure pollinated. And if you guys are wondering what I'm looking for, I'll make it obvious here with the flava, which definitely makes it obvious. So you see all those tiny little bumps on the ovary right there, and you see how it's kind of swollen? Yeah, that basically is an indicator that, hey, I've been pollinated. So we do have 3 confirmed pollinations. Now our flava flower stalk did get a kink towards the bottom. I don't know if it's insects, I don't know if it was wind damage, but it did get a slight little kink. I've been trying to keep it upright as much as possible to prevent it from browning out, so that way those seeds can continue to develop, and so far I've done a great job. I do have to come out here every now and then to just kind of upright it and make sure it stays up, because wind and stuff like that. You can see our flava though has just been going absolutely mad, producing sap like crazy. We have had a bunch of the wasps and stuff start finally coming out. Not like too bad, you know, they're not getting too bad yet, but here and there they'll fly over and come around. You know, it's mainly just the flies right now. Soon we'll start having the ants really come for them as well, but nothing quite yet. As you can see here though, our caddis bee, guys, this thing is just overgrown. In fact, it's really kind of starting to crowd out our Scarlet Bell down here. I feel bad for the Scarlet Bell, and there's just so many growing points off this. I'm really gonna have to finally separate and maybe sell a couple divisions of that. It's even starting to choke out our Leucophila over there. Now, we did have 1 sprout of our caddis bee finally bloom over here. So, you know, that's going to be kind of nice. We're going to have 2 little plants going of that, and then obviously any divisions I get off that, which I do have to do. Oh, nice little pollinator coming over to greet me here. That's a fake wasp, by the way, but yeah, anyway, oh yeah, here's our Leucophila, just absolutely, just look at the coloration finally starting to come out. Oh, it's so beautiful. Just look at that beautiful leaf coloring. Oh, absolutely amazing looking. Yeah, anywho, I really got to start dividing this caddis bee. It's just so thick. Now, I did go ahead and put out a bunch of live sphagnum, as you guys can see. It's been a little strugglish to keep this stuff alive, but it's been doing good so far. As you can see, there is a good amount of thick, chunky heads forming even out of the dead growth. We still have some coming up from the other side. I did go ahead and bring some of our Utricularia sandersoni out here, which I kept wrapped in our live sphagnum. That way, you know, it wouldn't die straight away and it would give it a chance to dig in. And so far, it seems to have done so. It's not really spreading too much just yet. For the most part, it's kind of creeping along the underside of our live sphagnum over here. We do have a bunch of Utricularia bisquamata starting to come up over here as well as a bunch of filiformis, extra filiformis sprouts, as you guys can see, are finally starting to come up nicely. I love the fact that we're starting to get more filiformis coming up. That's going to be really nice to see, really awesome. You can see we've also got a lot of extra Utricularia popping up left and right, lots of cultures, especially like you see little pockets of it forming all over the place here. Our Bonata starting to make a return finally. Lots of Capensis popping up all over the place once again. Our Tracii over here absolutely starting to get massive already. Like, look at this. Even over here, we've got little bits of like Capensis coming up, popping up even out of our look at that Capensis hiding down there in our live sphagnum. And like, it's just hiding all underneath our cranberry too. It's just absolutely everywhere. Like that Capensis just, I sprinkled a few seeds and it just does not stop. But Capensis does surprisingly well over here in Washington State in the wild. I'm not gonna lie. Butterfly Valley going absolutely ham. As you can see, that thing has just been going nuts on those tiny little fungus gnats and stuff like that, especially. Same here with a Florida Giant. You just see how that thing has been catching all the slightly larger bugs like the skeeters and stuff like that. It is about to flower, and this is what you see sprouting all throughout here. All these little filiformis sprouts, these are all Florida Giant. Our Tracii is sterile, and it appears our Butterfly Valley is also sterile, but our Butterfly Valley has been reproducing through hibernacula divisions, so that is completely fine. I do have to fix this bundle come winter time though, when I do my winter maintenance for next spring, because this is going to choke itself out by next spring if I do not go through and separate all these hibernacula. They're too bunched up. It's going to be like our Tokiensis mound was at the very start when I got that from Calcarn. Remember how it was just like all piled up and then eventually just choked itself out? It's going to be the same thing with these if I don't do something about that. They have been dividing every year super quick. I started off with 3. I am now at over 15. I need to do something about that. Now our Florida Green Giant, as you can see, those hibernacula actually space themselves out. Same thing here with the Tracii. You know, they'll kill a few off if need be, but they tend to, those hibernacula grow nice and chunky and space themselves out. So they do relatively well. I can keep those things just fine, but our Butterfly Valley will choke itself out if I don't do something about that. Now, as you can see, our fly traps have been starting to flower. They've been coming up to life. They've been doing absolutely amazing. We've got a couple of the smaller ones over here flowering as well. I am going to go ahead and let those flower just because, again, I do want to keep this natural. And we did go ahead and put some seeds out, remember, but unfortunately it seems that our fly trap seeds, well, most of them were kind of bunched around this area to fill this gap in, but it seems that somebody ended up coming over and scooping that section out. So yeah, unfortunately all our fly trap seeds that we got last year, gone. For the most part. There may be a couple here and there scattered around. I'm not 100% sure, but heck if I know at this point. Somebody came over, like even most of our caddis seeds that I had sprinkled around here, what the wind didn't kind of blow around the bog, like for the most part got stolen. Like we have one little sprout there. We've got like one sprout, what looks like over here. We got one seed there. I really don't know how many seeds, you know, survived, unfortunately, because somebody, like I said, somebody came and it appears took all the seeds, or maybe it was birds. I don't know. Birds and squirrels usually leave a bigger mess, and where I'm at, I don't have to really worst squirrels, so birds are probably the more likely if anything did come up and, you know, get into it. I think it's a person though, because I had indications that it was a handprint. So yeah, anywho, our bisquamata though starting to come up to life. You'd see little flower spores coming off that. Again, our fly trap's going absolutely strong. Everything really coming up to life and looking just absolutely fantastic, as you guys can see there for the most part. Our Scarlet Bell over here is finally producing traps. That just took ages. Our Leucophila just coming up to life, like I said. I wish this one was doing as good. This one is still kind of, I think it's just in an area where it's not getting enough light due to this caddis. I was really hoping that one would grow larger, but I might have to swap out our Leucophilas. I don't know yet. I'll see if this thing still wants to do its thing. Hopefully it survives, but it's kind of tough with this caddis in the way. You know, I'm gonna have, like I said, I'm gonna have to do some maintenance on that caddis. And then right over here we have our Ventrata that I went ahead and brought out. Now I did go ahead and bring this one out here just because of the fact that this one, it appeared to have bugs. I don't know what kind of bugs, but it appeared to have bugs. So I'm guessing something is in my grow tent, and I'm gonna have to figure out what before it gets to some of my other, you know, more precious plants. But it seems like most of the plants I put at the bottom. We got a little Celticid, little zebra jumper, Celtica seneca, kind of hanging out right there on the little leaf. Celticus seneca, I mean. better known as the zebra jumper. They're actually quite docile. A lot of people think like, you know, spiders in general are bad, but like as you can see, this thing just would prefer to leave me alone. And even if I were holding it, you know, she would not bite me. And that is a female, I can tell, just because of the abdomen. If anything, she's just hunting and she's gonna be more curious. But they're so cute. Honestly, I love jumpers. But yeah, anywho, I went ahead, like I said, and brought that out here just because the fact that I needed the room in my grow tent. While I do have the room in the grow tent, I didn't want potential pests. And I think the pests are in the soil of this one. And they seem to go for the pots that overcrowd, which means the white pot, which I have kind of secluded on the other side of my grow tent, most likely potentially has them as well. But I shall see. Usually I try my best to avoid getting any bugs in there. Now, as far as our secondary large bog goes, I have put a bunch of little filiformis and capensis seeds in here. Now, I thought I saw some little sprouts here and there. I mean, those could just be little weeds popping up. I do see a couple little weeds here and there popping up. I did see what looked like potential little moss spores and algae bundles growing at first, so that could have been just what it was. I'm not really seeing any plants growing in these yet. We shall see as time goes on, but I do know for a fact when these filiformis flowers go and when these seed pods are ready, I will be putting all those in there. Same thing here with our flytrap flowers. When these get pollinated, I will be putting the seeds over here. I want to try to get a secondary bog going just for a seed bog. That way I'm able to just like have a garden where I can specifically pull plants from, like, because I want to keep one natural and looking nice, and I want to have one specifically for nursery purposes, so I can just pull, pot, and, you know, sell, give away, whatever. So anywho, that's pretty much it. And to those who watch my videos, either TikTok, YouTube, Reddit, whatever, it's apparent that some of you guys know where I live. Obviously, my address is no secret. I don't really do much to hide it, but here's what I do have to say. Anybody who has the idea to come over and steal plants, as it's been made clear that someone has stolen a couple plants out of my bog, just do yourself a favor. Ask first. I mean, if I catch you in the act, most likely, if you're cool about it, I'm not going to call the cops. I'll probably just say, next time ask. Seriously, that's all I ask. Just ask. If you want a plant, I'm more than happy to share. Like, I've got plenty of small fly traps. They're $5, you know? You're $5 at your local Walmart and stuff like that. Guys, come on. Like, do you know how much filiformis, like, look at all the little filiformis sprouts are in here. Do you honestly think I'm going to mind if you just ask for one? It's all literally, it's all I do. I'm asking of people is just ask. Don't take, just ask. Like, I'm friendly. I'll be more than happy to share. Just ask though. So, anywho, yeah, that's pretty much our outdoor update. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy and catch you later. Peace out.